Today we are replacing the heater hoses on my 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan. The tools I'm going to need are hose clamp pliers. I call this guy a booger picker. It's how I get the hoses loose. And then these guys I can pinch off the hoses with, so hopefully I don't make too much of a mess. I also like to use some kind of silicone to lubricate the hoses so they slide off and on easy. So I started smelling the telltale syrup smell, antifreeze leak, and upon further inspection you can see the coolant dripping down on my exhaust. So the heater hoses are this Y shape right here, and then they split off and go to these. So there's the two clamps here, there's one clamp under here. You can see where this is formed. It's starting to leak, and it's not something you fix, you just replace. Before you do any of this, make sure the car is completely cold. You don't want to open a hot cooling system. You might get a hot coolant shower, and that's if you're lucky enough not to burn your face off. So my car's been sitting overnight. I'm gonna grab my hose clamps and get started. So first I remove my hose clamp, slide it out of the way. Then I use this guy to pry under the hose so I can make sure that it's loose and ready to spin off easily. Before I pull the hose off, I clamp with one of these guys, so hopefully I don't get too much coolant everywhere. This back hose is a little tougher to get to. I've slid the hose clamp out of my way, and I'm very carefully taking a razor so I can slice along it, since clearly I'm not reusing this hose. Then I can get my pry tool, sneak it under there, and pry the hose off. Just be careful that you don't slice through the part that the new hose is actually going on. There we go. These extended hose clamp pliers are great for hard to reach areas. You can just put this part on the hose clamp and squeeze it remotely if you can. Mirrors are also a great tool to use for hard to reach places, like this old side view mirror I use for jobs like this, so I can see the clamp I'm trying to reach. Before you get ready to put the new hose on, make sure that you have all of your hose clamps in place and that they're facing the right direction so it's easy for you to reach to tighten. I use this bendy tool, so it also makes it easy to reach any kind of hose clamp. I can bend it in there. This guy has a 1/4 inch head on it, so you can switch different sockets for different hose clamp sides. I also put a little bit of silicone in each opening, so easy slide on and off when I'm putting the new part in. You also want to pay specific attention to how the hoses go in. See, this guy goes on top of everybody, but this other guy that I'm pulling out goes behind this Y pipe, so make sure they go in how you took them off. Once you get the new hose installed, all 3 clamps tightened, you want to top off the coolant. Get the car up to operating temperature, let it cool down completely, double check, make sure there's no air bubbles. Take the car for a road test, then double check the tightness of your clamps and check for leaks, and you're all done.